sleepers, bold predictions, trade advice, news, on the rise, on the decline, potential waiver wire grabs you should be looking at right after your draft. Zamir White, top pickup of the offseason so far? Maybe. Zamir White, KJ Hamler. We're going to be doing a waiver wire show here shortly, probably this weekend. I'll probably do my first waiver wire show of the year. And Zamir White and KJ Hamler might lead the way. Some of you have already drafted your redraft. Some of you haven't drafted, but maybe I'm going to give you some insight on some players to maybe think about picking up, or the waiver wire content's going to allow you to think, end of my draft, maybe I should go Zamir White instead of this other wide receiver I won't need. Maybe I should go KJ Hamler instead of this other backup tight end that I need. Maybe the waiver wire show is going to help you, guide you in your draft. So the waiver wire show is going to be off the hook this year. We're going to do it. We're going to do it live. Get ready for it. Zamir White, KJ Hamler, waiver wire episode coming this weekend, baby. James Conklin in the house graveyard. What's up? Najee Harris or Dalvin Cook? Give me Najee all day long, bro. Where have you been? Jaden, you can't possibly think that I would draft Dalvin Cook over Najee Harris. There's just no way. Tim, what's up? Ayo, what's going on? No mocks, bro. No mocks tonight. Zamir White is going to replace Jacobs. I think so. Smitty never fails with the thumbnails. Attaboy. Smitty the GOAT, thank you. Saquon, thought, third round pick. Not second, not yet. Not yet. He probably won't be able to prove it to me either, because he probably won't be able to get on the field in the preseason, but we'll see. Not that he's injured, but they're going to want to save him and make sure he's healthy, and that's not going to give me enough, confidence that I can raise him into round 2. Graveyard in the house. What's up, East Coast Tatty? We got all the YouTube exclusive members in the chat. Navage, James Conklin, Avatar in the house. Avatar, your shirts are on the way, young man. I sent you a DM with pictures. Drake, Scott, East Coast Tatty. Avatar is the number one super chatter of the year. $499 hauler. So if anybody wants to knock off Avatar, drop it. Try it. I dare you. I dare you to knock Avatar off as the top super chatter of the year. When we're in the studio, we got that in the top left corner. What's up, Smitty? What's up, guys? What's up, Snotty? What's up, Frake? Everybody drop an Avatar emoji. Drop an Avatar emoji. It's almost football time, fellas, says Senior Hyphy. That's right. It's football season, baby. It's football season. Knock me off, says Avatar. He dares you. Mark Cleveland had it for like an hour. And then the Avatar came in. And you get your own emoji, Not that I want to take away avatars. We could always even try and keep avatars if we get another emoji, because he deserves it for being such a super chat gangster. We should have a super chat gangsta page that pops up where we have Avatar, Mark Cleveland, Jocelyn Brothers, Pretty Richie, Niner by Nature. These are the super chat OGs is what we could call them. Avatar to the moon. What's up? Smitty says, Roger. Roger's been going at me in the comments saying, Smitty, like, Roger, let's get this out of the way right now. Chase, no one's higher on Jamar Chase than me. And I know you want him as a moon man, and he's going to get there because his ADP is dropping. But while he was in the 4th and 5th draft slots overall, you can't be a moon man, because the moon man is all about the value of ADP. And Jamar at 4 or 5 overall didn't have that same punch that a St. Brown has. So I know you're trying to tell me in the comments that I need to have Jamar Chase there, but it's, you're going to get him in that range now, though. So don't worry. Get your popcorn ready. Because Jamar Chase might be a moon man by the end of Monday. Okay? Because he's cementing into pick 7, 8, 9. You cement into 7, 8, 9, you're starting to become a moon man, young man. Moon man, young man. You know what I'm saying? Kenny, what's up? Blackbeard in the house. Avatar. Smitty, in a 10-man league, PPR, should I trade the first round, second overall pick, and your third round 2022 overall pick for... God, those people are so loud. So loud. I'm going to go over here because I can't hear. Well, shit. Let's see. Should I trade my first round, second overall pick, and my third round 2022 for a first round 10 and a second round 11. So second 11, first round 10. I don't think so, bro. I don't know. If you're going to trade the second overall pick, I think I don't know if you and I had this conversation. You and I may have had this conversation already. If not, somebody had a very similar situation, and you've got to, if you're going to trade that 2 overall or the 1 overall, you need to get like a second and a third rounder, bro. You know, don't be messing around. Don't be messing around, bro. Got to get the bank. You can't just be doing like a even Steven type swap, bro. Kept St. Brown over trading Judy. I like St. Brown over Judy. Not everybody's gonna, but I do. I like St. Brown over Judy. You can make an argument for either one. Let me find the seat over here. Okay. Polycat, sleep for you. There's no more sleep for you, pal. It's thefantasyfootballshow.com, my man. Feel better about St. Brown's floor. Who does? I love St. Brown's floor. I never felt bad about St. Brown's floor. Settle the debate. Bateman versus Elijah Moore. I'm gonna say give me Elijah Moore. I don't want to say like all day to put like disrespect on Bateman, but pretty easy call for me. Elijah Moore's a monster. Bateman hasn't proven anything. I know he was good conversion. Some of the stats look pretty good in terms of number of plays and conversion attempts and all that, but I don't think so. Smitty, remember when you did a 12-hour live stream waiting for Rodgers' decision? Laughing emoji. I do, and what's funny is people think I would take it back. I wouldn't undo that if you paid me. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed there being a nothing burger at the end of it. That was just the way it was. We did it live. He did make an announcement, and if you think about it, bro, we actually were pretty amazing. The show was pretty amazing in that situation. We didn't have hardcore evidence whatsoever that A-Rod was going to have an announcement. And then we went all night long, 12 hours straight. And then at the end of it, we got word that he was going to make an announcement. We made a very good guess. Now, his announcement was that there was no announcement, but he did schedule an announcement, went on to announce that there was no announcement, and it was worth it. It was worth every bit of it. Yeah, I remember it. Watched all night, overnight at work. That was a super fun show. It was. Dropping disrespect like Trick 2G. I don't know what that means, but we'll roll with it. Avatar said it. That means it's good. Pickens has been unguardable in camp. I love Pickens. And that's why another reason why I'm not big on Deontay. You guys got to stop with this Deontay stuff. Deontay's not worth it, man. He's not worth it. That people are so loud. And wherever I go, it's kind of crowded out here right now. People are so loud. People are so loud. Can't even hear myself. The announcement of the no announcement. It was pretty cool. A-Rod equals Cameron Poe. That's right. Put the bunny back in the box. Kim Kardashian is single. It's time to shoot your shot. Joshua, is she single? Who is she dating? Who did she break up with now? If Tyreek gets 12 touches a game, you okay with him around 12 to 14 overall? No, because, I mean, you're asking me a question. We don't know if he's getting that many touches. So I think what you're looking for is confirmation that you already drafted him high and you want me to say that he's a top 12 to 14 overall player. I don't want to predict what kind of touches he's going to get because what I'm predicting right now is that he's a steal at like 18 to 24 overall. So, I'm going to show you God does exist as Avatar. Adams will bust being drafted way too high, says Ronaldo. Tyreek is a third rounder with Tua. I think late second's okay. Roger, Smitty, what do you think? What do you make of Buffalo backfield? Cook going ahead of Singletary now. I don't know, bro. It's a mess. I'm staying away from it. Eli, Dillon, St. Brown, Schultz, Godwin, MT. Eli, Dillon. I'm sure that's Eli Mitch or Eli Elijah Moore, right? Give me St. Brown. That sounds crazy. I want to hear about James Cook. I like James Cook, but I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy, pal. I don't think James Cook is going to be some elite, monster. I just don't. I think James Cook is got an upside, but I think James Cook is capped. I think there's a lot of cloudiness to his situation. I'm gonna go back to where I was because these people are leaving. They're so loud. Oh my god, was I that annoying when I was younger? Cook is big enough to get the goal line work. Yeah, but I don't know that I feel like Cook is. I don't feel like Cook is a full time three down back. I could be wrong on that, but I just don't feel it. I don't feel it in my gut. I like Cook a lot. He looked really good. I like Zamir White a lot. Both these guys look really good. They're very comparable coming out of college. It's hard to know which one to like better. But I think Zamir White might be in the better situation, to be honest with you. That might sound crazy to some people, but it is what it is, man. Eli Mitchell, I take Eli Mitchell over that other group then. I do like St. Brown pretty close to him, but Eli Mitchell feels like a pretty darn good fifth-round pick right now, late fifth-round pick. St. Brown's more of like a sixth-round pick, a fantastic six-round pick. So that's kind of how I feel about that. All right, let's get back to where we were. Don't push up Eli Mitchell's ADP. We're trying not to, pal, but we got business to attend to. Can't be holding back. Lazard, I like the Lizard. Let's see. I'm sitting around the campfire with one of the league mates that now get to hear about the fantasy football show. He is pissed I watch a show that live streams and actually talks to his viewers. Okay. Well, we appreciate all you campfire monsters out there smoking cigars, drinking beers with your broskies, doing it the right way. You should do your fantasy draft out there. The Campfire League. Smitty, what do you make of the Raiders playing Jacobs in the Hall of Fame game? I don't understand what they were doing. They were feeding that monster. And he looked good. Admittedly, he looked good, but guess what? Nobody looked better than the other. Every running back looked the same. Zamir White looked like a monster. Okay. Abdullah looked like a monster. All three of them did. It all looked very, very much the same. Some people say trade bait. Yeah, definitely could be trying to up the value to trade him away. They don't seem to like Jacobs. They don't seem to believe in Jacobs. And anybody that took – a lot of people took away from that game that Jacobs is going to have a big year. I didn't. I took away that they wanted to abuse him. They didn't care about his health. They ran him out there. Could be a showcase to trade him. And Zamir White looked just as good. Abdullah looked just as good. Nobody, stood out, How do you feel about Burks? I'm disappointed in Burks' progress because we've had the breathing issues, one thing after another. Not saying they're his fault, but I'm at Tennessee, not loving the quarterback situation. I'm going to go ahead and take a hard pass on Burks in a redraft sense. In the dynasty, I'm excited a little bit about him, but I liked him as the top, if not number 2 wide receiver. Jameson Williams is my number 1 rookie wide receiver. He remains my number 1 rookie wide receiver. Out of all the receivers coming out this year, I like Drake London enough to be, maybe he could become like a DK Metcalf in terms of value, and where's DK going right now? 5th round. Where would DK go if his quarterback situation was solidified? 3rd round, top of the 3rd. That's where I see Drake London potentially getting his value to. Do I see him as a potential Jamar Chase, like getting drafted in the bottom of round 1 someday? No, I don't. The only wide receiver I think that has the potential to become an absolute monster from this 2022 rookie wide receiver class is Jameson Williams, who's coming back from a torn ACL. It'll be a little while before he gets on par. I think the Lions have a week 6 bye week. So I'm kind of envisioning week 7 on Jameson kind of looking more to form and getting better and better and better. Sky Moore, I like Avatar, but I don't see him as a monster, bro. I like him, but could he be like a third round player someday in fantasy? Maybe. Uh, uh, yeah, I like Dubs, bro. Dubs is. I just did a video on Dubs on Instagram. Dubs has a lot of upside. It wouldn't shock me if he's the number one wide receiver by the end of the year in Green Bay. It wouldn't. I mean, it's definitely a long shot, but it wouldn't shock me at all. Wouldn't shock me one bit. Tolbert I like, but then you got Vasher. Tolbert's probably a better prospect, higher draft capital. They'll probably use him, more than they would use Vasher, but you never know. You never know. I like both of them, but Tolbert's definitely a good grab. Davis Mills is not just a good QB stash, hyphy. He's really, really solid, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if Davis Mills was a top 10 quarterback, like startable, like a starter, a fantasy football starter. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And in two QB leagues, he's my secret weapon quarterback. He's the guy I want as my QB2. I love Davis Mills. Absolutely love him. Smitty, do you have any more fantasy football PPR leagues for the community? I think we're gonna have one more dedicated to Michael K. CPA because he's a monster, and I think we need to name a league after him just because I feel like it. I love Michael K. CPA. He's been here for a while, and we're gonna make a league around him. Michael K. CPA and the accountants or something like that. I think we will do one more league. Try and find a nice little prize for it. Do it live. Look, get ready for it. Let's say Kamara gets 3 games, highest pick you take him at. Kamara, 3 games, I'd take him in the high second round, mid second round if it's only 3 games. But bro, it's not going to be 3 games. He beat a guy unconscious with his buddies. They kicked the man and beat him while he was unconscious on the ground. The question remains: will Kamara see the suspension potential pushed into 2023 because this hearing got kicked forward 60 days, right? But at the same time, when you think about it, 60 days, the hearing, they could still start the trial easily before like double-digit weeks or right around double-digit weeks. Let's say week 10, if it's week 12. And if you think the NFL coming off this Deshaun Watson stuff, which won't be over, we'll still be talking about Deshaun Watson every week. And if Watson gets suspended for the entire year, we'll still be hearing about it. If he doesn't get suspended, we'll still be hearing the countdown to when he's going to come back. There's going to be nothing but Deshaun Watson madness every week. The NFL, it's a bad look. The NFL is in a bad spot. The NFL is not looking to make themselves look any worse than they already look. And it wouldn't shock me if Kamara's trial started even in week 10. Let's say the hearing got pushed back 60 days. Let's say they don't kickstart the trial until like week 10 or 11. Okay, so he plays 10 weeks. Do you think the NFL is not going to put him on paid leave on the commissioner exempt list and say, go figure out your stuff? We're not letting you go on the field, go into the courtroom, and have this thing dragged out in the public eye. Yeah, here, let's talk about how you beat a man senseless till he was unconscious and beat him while he was on the ground unconscious. Let's talk about that. And then on Sunday, go back on the field and go back into the courtroom, then go back on the field. I don't think the league's going to put up with that. So there is a risk that Kamara could potentially be put on paid leave during the season. And the problem with that is right now you're drafting him, or you were a week ago, you were drafting Kamara with anticipation that he'd be missing 6 games. You were getting the discount. You were drafting him in the 3rd and 4th round on the regular. That was really good. If, in fact, this trial doesn't look like it's going to happen, everyone's going to draft him at high round 2 now. You're not going to package in the risk. And what happens if he gets raptured from your roster, literally like in week 10 or 11 when you haven't prepared for it and the draft capital isn't accounted for? You understand what I'm saying? This isn't a good thing that he may or may not now get a suspension, because now every one of you out there is going to go reaching for him. You're going to take him at the high second round, and now you're going to be in a situation where you weren't prepared for it and you paid higher draft capital. Kind of a worrisome situation. Random, Smitty, who was the last player you were excited about that let you down? I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire let us all down, you know? For every time, I hit more than I miss. I mean, I wouldn't be here if I just missed everything, right? I've been doing this 20 years. But there are times where there are players that I pump up that fail me. Sometimes I feel like the situation failed them. Do I think that Clyde Edwards-Helaire still has the potential to completely surprise everybody? Yeah, I do. Do I think he's got the injury risk and the worrisome track record so far in the NFL to let me down again? Yeah, that's why I would invest in high draft capital. However, Clyde's going around 7 or 8. What's the problem? What's the problem with Clyde in 7 or 8? Clyde's got all the risk baked in. Clyde disappointed me. Clyde's walking into 2022 an underdog. Clyde's got a lot of upside. Clyde's the veteran in that situation. Clyde knows the playbook. That's a complex offense. Ronald Jones won't know the offense. Ronald Jones won't know the playbook. Ronald Jones isn't like thought of as one of the smartest players in the NFL that's going to come in and blow everybody out of the water in terms of learning one of the most complex playbooks that's now changing and getting even probably more complex because of the loss of Tyreek Hill. More movement, more bodies in and out of the lineup, a lot more to take in. If healthy, Clyde's going to be the guy. Clyde, who plays at about 205 to 209, he plays at 205 to 209 pounds body weight. He weighed 160 pounds last year. Nobody even talks about that. He had the gallbladder or whatever removed, and he played at 160 pounds. Number one, the effort on that guy to go out there and try and do that. That's 40 to 50 lbs. You guys try walking out with 40 to 50 less lbs and taking hits and pass protecting and trying to stay healthy. Like Clyde had a lot of bad luck last year, which unfortunately gave us a lot of bad luck. Any QB worth it after Matt Stafford, or is he a bottom floor acceptable QB? I mean, Davis Mills is like a crafty play. I'm telling you right now. I'm not saying I'm going to probably even get to that point because I draft Herbert. I draft so much Joe Burrow in round 6. Joe Burrow won't get past me in round 6. I don't care if you told me his ADP was cemented into 7.2. I'm not risking it. I'm taking Joe Burrow in round 6 all day long, and I'm winning leagues because of it. But if, let's say, plan backfires, I'm tempted in one league to have Davis Mills as my starting quarterback. You know, grab a Trevor Lawrence to back him up just in case, whatever. I feel like he's that one player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, N'Keal Harry, what a waste. That's another guy that had a lot of talent. I feel like if he went to a different situation, Bill Belichick is to blame for that. Bill Belichick is a black hole for wide receivers. And I know Randy Moss was amazing there. Totally different situation. Tom Brady removed. I feel like that offense is a trap. I don't think Mac Jones is going to be what you think. I think that any wide receiver that goes there goes to fade away or be a lesser version of what they could have been. I don't know that N'Keal Harry has anything left in the tank. You know, I don't know if his confidence is shot. Is he behind the game now? You know, he had an advantage at one point, skill set wise, coming in, his age, you know, being a rookie and all that. And then, then all of a sudden, you waste away on the bench for a while. It's not like you just have that opportunity sitting right there, like the itch and the talent, everything's right there on the surface. It's like you got to rebuild all that. So he's an okay person to take a risk on. Has Godwin's stock gone up with you yet? No. I think Godwin, people are seeing him on the field cutting, and then they start acting like things are going to be okay. He's going to, be a monster early on. It's going to take a lot of time, and if he rushes back too early, most likely looking at some sort of, injury if he gets rushed back. So I don't know why everybody's super ultra excited about him because he's out there cutting. He's a very injury prone player, and people are taking him. They were taking him before they really realized what they were doing and how injured he was and how far away from week 1 he was looking earlier. People were taking him in the 5th round in like February, March. And I'm screaming from the rooftops, what are you doing? Why are you taking this guy in the 5th and 6th round when he's not going to play till probably, I don't know, past a month into the season? Now, seems a little bit more ahead of schedule, but there was mixed reports out and mixed, opinions out today, yesterday, the day before that, where it's like Godwin might play. Godwin's actually ahead of schedule. Now people are saying don't get optimistic just because Godwin's on the field and out there cleared to get going. He's cleared to try and get back to form. He's not cleared to play a game. When Godwin was cleared, everybody said, cleared, he's ready to go, full go, he's ready to go, draft him. That's not the case. Godwin was cleared to get on the field, do the things that everybody else was doing to try and rehab himself, and he's still rehabbing himself into form. Godwin, if he goes out there today gets a helmet to the knee, cuts on it. Let me tell you something. Your boy Smitty is I know what I'm talking about with injuries. I may not be an actual doctor, but I'm the best non-doctor in fantasy football you'll come across because I've suffered all the injuries. I've been through 20 years of watching this stuff on repeat over and over and over. And let me tell you, when you tear an ACL, and I know by experience because I've torn my ACL, you have swelling for a year. Okay? You're going to go out there and you're going to push yourself cutting and putting stress on the knee that is still recovering. You can't possibly be 100% at 1 year. You can't. You just can't. And a player will tell you that. A player will tell you that at the end of the year. They won't tell you that during the process because they're afraid to admit it. And they'll always admit it after the fact. I finally feel myself. You don't trust your knee. Number one, your brain talks to your knee and you literally go like this, okay? Your brain talks to your knee and tells you to cut, okay? When you sever that ACL, you have to reestablish connection between your brain and your knee. I know anybody that hasn't torn their ACL won't know this, but trust me, there are times when I tore my ACL, and yeah, I'm no pro athlete, but I still encountered a lot of the same things. I was still rehabbing. I was still running every day. I was still training and doing stuff, trying to get back to 100%, trying to get back to 6-minute miles. I still run probably, as fast as some of the athletes would do. Maybe I don't do all the contact stuff. I'm not lifting weights to the same degree, but your boy Smitty was out there. Okay, this was very early on when I was a much younger person too. My patellar tendon was recent. My ACL was a long time ago. But when I would sit there and be walking and I'd try and cut and go left, I'd be like walking. I'd be like, okay, I was going to class, going to class. And, oh, I'm going to go this way. My body wouldn't go. My body wouldn't go. You literally tell your knee to cut and you can't cut and it's like delayed. And you have to reestablish the connection to talk to your body. And I know that sounds crazy and you're going to say to yourself, but these are pro athletes, but they're trying to tell their body to make even quicker decisions. I was trying to walk to class and I was trying to tell my leg to cut left and I'm sitting here still walking straight. Like it's a connection issue. Now imagine a running back or a wide receiver that's lining up and they're trying to make a quick cut and your body's behind. It's like a delay. It's a delay and it doesn't fix itself just because you're rehabbing a whole heck of a lot. It takes the body time because you literally are drilling a new ACL that is cut out from a window inside your patellar tendon with 2 screws or more screws into the joint. It has to die, turn into a ligament, and then the ligament you have to talk to your body and tell yourself and establish those connections. It's crazy. It's crazy how it all works. So players that say, oh, I'm good to go, I'm 100%, they're not. They're lying. And there's no way that Godwin, who's very injury prone, is going to be put in a better position than he would if he slowly came across this situation and took his time and made sure he was right. He's going to rush it. He's going to rush it. He already feels like he's rushing it right now by trying to get on the field because he was projected to maybe miss like a whole month. And now they're talking about maybe he's going to come back. But what I was going to tell you is when you're less than a year or at a year from a torn ACL, and you go out there and you play on it, do you know what happens? Your body creates swelling. Why does your body create swelling? To protect the injured part of your body. When you jam your thumb or you hit it on a blade or something on a lawnmower and it doesn't, thank God it doesn't come off. The thing swells up like crazy. Why? It's a defense mechanism where your body just starts swelling up. It starts swelling up. If he goes out there and starts cutting on it, boom, cut. Helmet hits leg, boom, it starts swelling. He will have swelling every single week. When you're a running back, especially, and he's a wide receiver, but this is especially the case with running backs, you have swelling from playing on it, bad swelling. And so Godwin's going to not practice on the weekly, which is going to be bad for a guy that's injury prone, going out there and playing in games and not practicing like everybody else. Godwin's a huge avoid for me, and soft tissue injuries are a big thing when it comes to ACL injuries, especially hamstring injuries, because guess what? You don't trust your knee for a whole year. When you tear your ACL, and you can see the hesitancy in Barkley last year, you could see the hesitancy in Godwin in his brace, and he's wearing a brace. You trust your leg a lot more in a brace. When he takes the brace off, watch how hesitant he is. So you're here and you cut, right? You cut. What happens is you don't trust your leg fully. You don't trust your leg fully. When you cut, you're so apprehensive about cutting and just tearing your ACL, you compensate, even if it's small compensation in your quad, in your hamstring, in your calf, in your patellar tendon. You literally cut different, and you're trying to lay that pressure down different on your leg when you're cutting and planting, and you cause compensation. Compensation then goes to your hamstring, then you tear your hamstring. So why did Dalvin Cook come back from his torn ACL and have a horrible first season back? Because in my intro video, the year that I launched my YouTube, you remember? Top 5 running back, Dalvin Cook, top 5 running back. That was not his year coming off of an ACL tear. That was his year after that year, because his first year back, he overcompensated and he suffered hamstring injuries during that season. And so Dalvin Cook's first season back from the ACL was a horrible season. It was a disappointment. That's why everybody was super down on Dalvin Cook and why he was a top 5 running back steal, because he not only tore his ACL one year, he came back the second year and kind of busted, and it was his third year. So that's why everyone was so down on Dalvin Cook. But people need to understand that when you're cutting left, you're cutting right on these ACL recovered knees. You don't trust them. You're compensating. Even if you think you're not, you're compensating because you're scared to death and you don't trust it yet. You're compensating. Boom. Godwin's going to have a hamstring injury. Godwin's not practicing because of the swelling, but he's going to go out there and get hammered in a game. Hamstring injury. All right. Unless you're Cooper Kupp. True. And there are outliers, guys. There are outliers. But guess what? Godwin's injury prone. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. You can have Godwin. I'll take St. Brown. Attaboy. That's what I'm talking about. Why go after Godwin when you could get St. Brown? He's at more risk tearing the other ACL. Jimmy the drunk can only keep. Are you still here, Jimmy? Can only keep one running back. Can keep a player as long as you want and don't lose a draft pick for keeping a player. Mixon, Swift, Devonte. Who stays? Devonte, bro. Come on, bro. Do it. Do it live. Jimmy, are you still here, Jimmy? I appreciate your super chat, by the way, Jimmy. Jimmy the drunk, baby. Jimmy the drunk dropping a $4.99 holler. Mashed potatoes. Anytime someone super chats $4.99 or above, your boy Smitty's going to stand up and do a standing ovation outside. Mashed potatoes. Jimmy the drunk. Mashed potatoes. We may not have it like in the studio, but we're still doing it live. Jimmy, you here? There he is. Cheers, Jimmy. Drake London, what about him? I like him. Do I like his situation? Not really. Thanks for the response. My Godwin question, no problem. I kind of did a long-winded answer, bro. Evans does not miss many games. I am all in on him. Yeah, I mean, I like Evans too. I do worry a little bit about injuries with him too, but I mean, Oliver Smitty, would you trade the 1.1 for the 1.4 and 2.9? Yeah, I would, bro. Give me Chase and Hill. Give me Chase and I don't know. It used to be Debo. I told you to draft him left and right before that value changed. Now Debo's going to go to the moon. Top 5 rookie wide receivers. One Love, that's really hard, bro, because you can answer that 100 different ways. The now, the future, the mix. Jameson Williams long term. Drake London, Olave. Probably for the future and now combination. You know what I'm saying? Legion. Devonte report saying 80-20 split. What have I been telling you? What have I been telling all of you? Devonte Williams is going to climb. It's going to climb. It sucks, but he's going to climb. It's going to happen. I was hoping we get through most of August before. I was hoping we go into the year with a doubt. Devonte is. Now, these are predictions. Let me play devil's advocate to that 80-20 because that's my boy Cecil that made that report, and he's predicting 80-20 or 70-30, 80-20, 70-30, but predicting a very heavy Devonte split. And Devonte 5 or 6 out of the 7 days, or 5 out of the 6 days, was running with the ones more than Gordon. You know what I'm saying? Zach, you got to watch the show, bro. I did a lot of auction content today. Right at about 1 hour and 55 minutes in. Start watching from that point on, bro. Resign Melvin Gordon, bro. Just wait. I know you're joking, One Love, but just wait till these people come out of the woodwork. I love Javonte. You know what I love? Smitty, I like Javonte. I like Javonte. No, you don't. You don't. I like Javonte, but if there's a but in at the end of your sentence or in the middle, you don't love Javonte. Stop acting like you also love Javonte and yet you doubt him. Stop it. You don't get to get on the train and say you doubt somebody, but or you like somebody, but you have doubt. You have doubt. You doubt Javonte, plain and simple. Admit it. Not you, Love. Not you, Lightning. Not you, Tanner. Not you, Brian. You know what I'm saying. Schultz is the tight end pick for for 2022 monster breakout Dalton, baby. Who's the Seahawks running back? Avi, come on, bro. Take a lap, Avi. Hey, Smitty, what's your opinion on Elliott, Connor, and Montgomery this year? I kind of don't like all three. It's not that I don't like Connor, but I don't trust Connor whenever you got to pay for Connor. When Connor's free and an undervalued guy, I like him. Aaron Jones over Saquon, I agree. I love Javonte, but hate the Broncos. That's okay. Smitty, do you like Aaron Jones or Fat Lenny more in the second round? Come on, Chris. Chris, have you ever watched a show of mine? I don't draft Leonard Fournette in the third round, bro. I don't even draft Leonard Fournette in the fourth round. You hear me? Do I draft Leonard Fournette in the second round? What is this? What is this? Lenny or Barkley? Give me Barkley. What's up, Raj in the house? What's up, Raj? Raji boy. Eckler or Najee? You could argue either one. I'll probably say give me Najee. I like both of them. Eckler's in a great situation, but give me Najee Harris, man. I mean, he's arguably my quiet number 2 running back. Like in terms of ranking in the first round, like Javonte's my surprise 1 or 2 finisher. Like I love Javonte more. What part of AZ do I live in? Phoenix, baby. Phoenix. Javonte Adams or CD. Give me Javonte. Then give me CD. Then give me CD. Then give me Adams. I'm gonna go CD over Adams. Traded Mooney and my 8th round pick for Javonte and my keep. Blasted your grandma on that one, bro. You took your grandma to school on that one. Henry, Barkley, Cook, or Zeke? Henry. And then I looked to trade him, though. Ty for the great I thought you were saying Ty Davis Price. Thanks for the great content, bro. Love the show. Thank you, live. I appreciate you. Who would you pick in order? Least to worst. Least to worst? I mean, best to worst? Chase, Najee, Adams, Mixon. Jamar Chase, Najee, Adams, Mixon, like you have them. Swift or CD? Give me Swift. Frank, you're going to the moon, pal. It's too bad Barkley is going in the second now. I got him on 40% of my leagues, and I got him in the third. Yeah, I'm not going near him in the second. I'm just not. You can at me all you want. Smitty, do you like CMC as a second-round pick? Sure. Why not? Top 5, no. I like Javonte more than I like Christian McCaffrey. And that's going to sound funny to a lot of casuals or people that don't. They just think everybody lasts forever. Like people that come in and go, wait a minute, you don't have Derrick Henry as your number 2 running back? What's wrong with you? Like they have no open mind as to why. Like, no, that is a fantasy Karen. That is a fantasy Bob. That is a worried William. That is a perplexed Peter. That's a new one. Perplexed Peter. He's very perplexed. He doesn't get it. He's very, very frustrated. Frustrated Freddie. And frustrated Freddie comes in and says something like, wait a minute, you don't have, like, as if there's not a rationale to it. Like, as if you can't guess why somebody might not want Derrick Henry at 2 overall. You might have an interview with Najee on Sunday, bro. You gotta circle me in. Raj, let me ask just one question, but I'll be in the corner, but let me record it for you on my setup so that it's like all nice, dressed up nice. I'll take care of that for you. And I just want one question. I'll be quiet the whole time. That'd be dope, Raj. Josh Allen trade for JJ. I have Hurts. Josh Allen trade for absolutely. I mean, you take JJ over Josh Allen, bro. Andrew, when CMC plays his best, what? Andrew, when CMC plays, he's the best player in fantasy. Yeah, Avi, when he plays is the key word. Can't wait for my draft. I'm gonna be taking fools hostage. Attaboy. Send me the questions ahead of time. No, I mean, let me give you the dressed up interview look. You know what I mean? I can. Unless you're doing it live. If you're doing it live, I mean, I could still do it live on your thing, but I could put all the graphics up and have all the different camera angles and run it for you. You know what I mean? I could just be in the corner. At the end, I could go, Najee, how does it feel to be such a monster? That would be I'd have one question. I mean, I'm not trying to step on the interview. I'm just saying if you need someone to record it so you don't have to deal with the details, I could send them a link, send you a link. You don't have to do a thing. I'll edit it all for you, put the logos on. You know what I'm saying? Live on a podcast, not on a stream. Oh, gotcha. Can you imagine me? Najee's right. I got my one question, and Raj is like, Smitty, okay, go. And I'm like, Najee, what's it feel like to be a monster? You remember when you ran for a lot of yards last year? That was awesome. Avi gonna pick the short Richard with the 1.6, trusting you with Chase over Eckler or Najee. I mean, if you're in a PPR, Jamar Chase, baby. Do you think Devonte will get a lot of receiving work this year, Smitty? Yes. I think he could catch 65 to 70 passes, bro. Go watch my Najee rant today if you can stand it. It's pretty aggressive stuff. I'll be posting it tomorrow on IG. PPR, of course. Do you think Devonte will get? Yes. Yeah, buddy. Smitty asked him, Najee, are you going to the moon this year? I mean, that's probably what I'd ask him. Najee, how do you feel being a moon man? You're on Smitty's moon man chart. How do you feel about being one of the moon men? To the moon. What can I buy a fantasy football skateboard? I'm giving one of those away to the winner of a league. So we may do another skateboard, which I can sign or not sign if you want, depending on whether you want it or not that way. But to the winner of the next league, the Michael K CPA Fantasy League, which we'll do one more, I think. One more. Did Najee hurt his foot today? He got his foot stepped on yesterday, but he appears to be okay. Full PPR 1.10, who you taking? Depends on the draft board, bro. I'll never tell you a set thing, but I would say if somehow Jamar Chase is there, you're going to take him. The top 3 wide receivers are gone, and you better know who those top 3 are. Then I'm leaning Swift or Devonte at that pick. Thoughts on Aaron Jones? This year, I like him, but I think people could be overdrafting him. I'm not going to lie. I think he needs to catch 75, 80 passes in order to be as valuable as he needs to be. And for Green Bay to do well, Green Bay's got to turn to him as being their most trusted wide receiver in 2022. Mixon will finish as running back 1. Don, that's a bold statement, broski. Holy, Don, I may have just sharded myself. Sir Lance, king of the MC, Niner by nature. That's right. Trey Hader is going to get out of hand. It's going to get crazy, bro. But then the Trey haters are going to come full circle, bro. Don't you worry. Sign. But I want it for the league trophy. Yeah, it will be the league trophies. It will be the league trophy. Why, Smitty, he was a running back 3 last year? Who are you talking about? Who was running back 3? Smitty, do you remember? Oh, Mixon? I don't know, bro. I mean, ask anybody to rank their top 5 running backs. No one has them in the top 5. I don't think I'm by myself. It's still shocking, but trust your gut. Where do you think Kyler will finish this year? Probably as a top 5 to 7, or probably the top 6 to 7 quarterback, 6, 7, 8. I think there's just so many good quarterbacks. They could all be neck and neck. Like Hurts and Lamar and Kyler could all be neck and neck. Trey, they could all be right there at 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what I mean? They could be within 5 points. Like it's literally a loaded group of QBs in that 5, 6, 7 range. I think the top 4 will be a little bit above the rest for sure. And Herbert or Joe Burrow or whoever, Josh Allen is at the top is going to be, I think it's going to be a 50 TD season. I think someone's throwing 45, someone's throwing 50. I think it's going to be that kind of TD year. Mixon, I love is my second drafted player. I don't mind that at all. A.J. Brown, top 5 wide receivers, his avatar. Money in the bank, he says. I like Hurts. Hurts is going to ball. A.J. Brown's going to ball. People that hate on A.J. Brown and call him not a volume guy because they're judging what he was handed on another team with another quarterback, and he's about to get a monster of a quarterback in Jalen Hurts that people don't even understand how good he is. He's untapped. Now that he's got A.J. Brown, he's going to be that much better. Imagine gifting another quarterback A.J. Brown and judging that quarterback off of the last season's numbers. That's what people are doing. Kyler has something to prove. Yep, Bengals are going to go fast-paced passing attack. Yes, sir. League trophy for the campfire crew. Was that you, Tanner, that said you were at the campfire? I already forget who that was. The campfire crew. Is your entire campfire gathered around watching, or is it just like 1 or 2 of you, or what's going on with that? I need the picture. I need the full picture, bro. We need another 24-hour live stream before the season starts. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but it could happen next year. That's a lot of work, and the part about the 24-hour live stream that's crazy is that it's not like the views of that live stream, unless it catches fire on YouTube, which it could. The algorithm could catch it, but it's not like I get any more views at one given moment ever during that live stream. I can literally go live the next day once I'm rested up, and my live stream's as big as the 24 hours. So it's like it's kind of a lot of work for not like a big different payoff that you would think, And a lot of people don't like to rewatch a 24-hour live stream. They'll watch a little bit of it, but it's kind of a hard thing to digest and get into because there's 24 hours to watch. So it's kind of hard to dig into it. Falcons will 48 hours. Yeah. Nobody's done a 24-hour live stream like me. Like there's been people that have done it after I did it, I don't want to say copied, but they do it as a group and they rotate and they all kind of like I did it by myself twice. It was really, really tough. Thoughts on Devonte Adams this year? I would probably say, wide receiver 4, 5, 6 is a pretty good expectation. I think wide receiver 1 is going to be hard pressed. You got a lot of guys that are going to have a lot more opportunity than he will, I think, in my opinion. I just don't think that Adams is going to be able to get the same volume he got with Aaron Rodgers, but I think he'll still be very good. Eli Mitchell or A.J. Dillon, give me Eli Mitchell. He's going in like the late 5th round. Maybe Dillon goes in the middle of 6th, so they're about a round apart anyway. Javonte Melvin splits projected at 55-45. No, it's not, Don. It just came out today. It's an 80-20 or a 70-30 split, which is that's not coming from a coach, but that's the most recent report that's being shoved out there to everybody. Whether it's true or not, it's all speculation. No one knows the split. The coaching staff hasn't come out with a projected split, bro. But Don, your report is old. That's old news, bro. The most recent report by Cecil, my boy Cecil Lammy, out of Denver, says 70-30 or at least, or it's 80-20. So not true. Campfire crew is with me, 4 out of 12. What are the other individuals doing? Where are these other 8 guys going? What are they watching? They watching Mr. Beast? What's going on here? Do they not play fantasy football? We're a news show, but that's okay. That's still a good percentage. I like that we got 4 to 12. Those guys are probably playing Minecraft or watching Mr. Beast or, maybe they like, what's that guy's name? PewDiePie. I don't blame them. But they're missing out. That's for sure. Niner by nature. We're gonna break. We gonna bash. We gonna roll. We gonna smash. This is East Coast Tatty. What do we got? What do we got? Burrow was back at practice today. Of course he was. He's Joe Burrow. He probably smoked a cigar during surgery. When they wheeled him out. He was blowing smoke rings, bro. Down, and they said, "Sir, you're gonna have to put that out." He said, "I'm Joe Burrow." They said, "Oh yeah, my bad." You know, this guy smokes for a career. Sutton is the guy. Says fake. It's possible, bro. No one's saying that can't be. I got Jerry Jeudy, but Jerry Jeudy does feel a little bit risky. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I like St. Brown a little more than both of them. Give me some Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pitts tight end 1, very possible. Zach, very possible. Smitty on the daily, no one comes close. That's right, Paulie Cat. I've got a job to do. My job is to dominate not only the fantasy football industry, but part of me even sometimes wishes that my YouTube channel wasn't the fantasy football show and just was like the football show. Because I think some people probably don't realize how awesome our 7 p.m. fantasy and NFL news show is. And I think sometimes we miss out on grabbing regular NFL fans that just want a whole bunch of content. So, you know, I think that once people start to realize that we are a news show, we are an NFL show, we do cover fantasy, but Niner by nature is here. A lot of people are here that just want football coverage, and we do it better than anybody. Nobody does it better than us. I could say that with confidence. I don't feel like it's cocky. I feel like it's just facts, man. I'm out here grinding. We do more live streams than anybody. I'm live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. And then I go live pretty much every single evening on top of that. And I go live whenever news breaks. Sometimes I'm live 3 or 4 times on YouTube. And sometimes those are 6-7 hour stream days. We're doing it. We're taking over. Not going to even be close. We just need the exposure. And we're getting it. Trey Lance to the moon, absolutely. Andrew Grace. I love Andrew Grace. You know when some people kind of fight and they become stronger, the relationship becomes stronger. Andy and I battled it out one time, but now Andy and I are broskies. Get the word out, people. Let's get Smitty to 20K. Let's get it done soon, because the bigger we are, I promise you, the more prizes and giveaways and sponsorships. Once we get to a certain level on sponsorship level, once we're in that 20, 30K range, we'll have so many jerseys that are autographed to give away. Like, it's going to benefit everyone. That whole campfire, all 12 people need to be sitting around watching the show, not 4. We'll work on that, Tanner. You're doing a good job. 4 out of 12, you get a pat on the back. You get a mashed potato, Tanner. Any super chat gets a standing ovation mashed potato. I don't care if I'm in the studio or outside of the studio. And when Tanner gets 4 of his buddies around a campfire to watch the show together, that's when we do a mashed potato. Avatar mashed potato. Mashed potato avatar. Appreciate you. Smitty, where is your line in the sand for Trey? Well, the line in the sand for Trey, you'd have to go upward because I love Trey's value. Normally, line in the sand we use for when a bad player flips into a good player. But going reverse engineering this thing, I'd say, like, you don't want to take him around 5, because you could just take Joe Burrow. And I like Joe Burrow more than I like Trey Lance. But it's not like I don't love Trey Lance enough to where if I get sniped on Joe Burrow, that I'm plenty happy to try out the Trey Lance experiment, which I think is going to be very successful and could be Joe Burrow worthy. He could be as good as Joe Burrow. There is a time and a place to draft somebody. Just because you love Trey Lance, you can't draft him in round 4. Just because you love Joe Burrow, you can't draft him in round 4. You take Joe Burrow in round 6 and you dominate and win your league. You take Trey Lance in round 7, you win and dominate your league. I think you want to have a little bit of both. You want to have diversification, and you want both of them. So 73 people in here, only 47 thumbs up. Punch that thumb up button. Can DK and McLaurin be my number 1 wide receiver and wide receiver 2? Yes, absolutely. But you got to think about where you're drafting them, round 3 and round 5. So you better have some pretty good running backs and a good quarterback or some kind of combination, because you're telling me that these are a 3rd and a 5th round pick. Thoughts on Zamir White? I think he looked great. I think he eventually does take over for Josh Jacobs, who is a big disappointment. I feel like Josh Jacobs looked pretty good, but so did Zamir White, so did Amir Abdullah, so did the water boy, Everybody was running the ball well against that Jacksonville Jaguars second and third and patchwork defense. Like, come on. I mean, Jacobs looked strong and aggressive, but Zamir White came in and looked strong and aggressive. Then Abdullah came in and looked strong and aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Shoddy, mashed potatoes, Shoddy. Appreciate your super chat, good buddy. Appreciate you. How do you get Swift and Devonte? Do you have 2 second-round picks? I take Swift in round 1 if you got a late first-round pick, and I take Devonte in round 2 if you got a top of the pick. Keep doing you, Smitty. Jamar Chase, 1.6. Hopefully, let's freaking go. Attaboy, Avi. Appreciate you. Avi with the $2 holler. Avi in the building. Waterboy. DJ Breakout. Is Swift Javonte combo or Javonte Hall ETN combo better? Swift Javonte combo or Javonte Hall ETN? So you're talking about 3 of them, bro. I take the Swift. I take the Javonte Hall ETN combo by a mile. I'm talking about 3 players versus 2, and I love Hall and ETN like quietly as much as I love Swift in a way. You know what I mean? I got to run after this too. Ramondre over Damian? Over Damian who? Damian Harris? Oh, okay. Damian Harris. I would say Ramondre. Although I think we could be jumping the gun on Ramondre, but yeah, Ramondre over Damian. Smitty, you're the best. No other YouTuber like you. Thank you. Appreciate you, Zach. You're the best Zach F. There's no Zach F like you. Are you drafting James Conner? Not really, because he goes in the 4th round or the 3rd round, and I just don't love that value. Monty, you feeling this season or nah? I'm going to say nah. I don't love Monty. You mentioned a run. Do you recommend drafting as a form of exercise? If you Tony Turley, that's Tony Turley, everybody. That's Tony Turley. That's our attorney at law. That's the show's counsel right there. Tony Turley in the building. I recommend running and drafting at the same time. Careful, AZ Smitty about to be going 126 miles an hour. If I get hit by Hollywood Brown running around the streets of Phoenix, I'm gonna be pissed. If you guys don't see me tomorrow, that means I'm hit. I need Tony to fly out immediately, defend me. What we're looking at, Tony, if I get hit by Hollywood Brown 126 miles an hour, we're looking at a big payday, right? We're looking at it. We're looking at quite a payday. Smitty in the hospital bed, my feet up in those raises or whatever. Just all my body parts up. All my body parts up hanging. Tony's in there with a laptop, just sitting there. I'm his only client at that point. He's like, Tony can retire. I can retire. Hollywood, especially if Hollywood does it again, because we have precedent, right, Tony? Repeated offender, a serial speeder, Can CD be a wide receiver 1? He can be the wide receiver 1, potentially, sure. In a perfect world, I mean, you don't want to rank him there. You don't want to expect it. Tony, we got to have you back on. I don't know if you're available Monday, Tony, but we got to have you back on. This is my Tony Turley, right? This is my guy. We need to have you back on Monday to talk about this, the Sean and Cabrera stuff. But I really believe that Watson's toast. Tony, actually save it for Monday. I don't want you to give your opinion yet. Digest any information you can. But I really think he's toast because I believe the NFL is more worried about the loudness of the other side of this thing. The NFLPA might be loud. The NFLPA may take this thing to federal court if they will take it to federal court if they slap Deshaun Watson with a year-long indefinite suspension with a reapply for 2023. They most certainly are going to take it to federal court. But the NFL's got a lot of evidence. They've got Sue Robinson's, not that it holds all the weight in the world, but Sue Robinson's report. Tony, I don't know if you ended up reading it, but basically, from what I gather, it basically all but said everything that the NFL was accusing him of. Monday's the only night you cannot do it. Okay, Tuesday. Sue Robinson's report all but said a year-long suspension. It was like, this is assault. That based on the evidence that the NFL, the investigation the NFL had, it looks, and she can pretty much say it's like assault, and yet 6 games. It doesn't make sense. So I think the NFL's got a good case in court, and I don't think Roger Goodell's worried about going to federal court at this point. I think he wants to do what's going to be looked at by the eyes of the viewer, the average NFL fan, and all the backlash he's going to get if he doesn't. This will be good for Roger Goodell. It'll be bad in a lot of ways because it's going to create turmoil, but I think it's going to be something that Roger Goodell needs in his mind, a big win, at least from one side of the fence. Rather than have everybody 50% hating him, he can do something that might improve things. NFLPA needs to hurry and file in Delaware, says One Love. You think he'll reoffend? He probably will, bro. He needs help. Who do you pick with the last pick in the first round in Elite? I love Swift and Devonte, bro. Those are my guys. Smitty, 4th pick, JJ or Eckler. Give me JJ in a PPR. Punitive damages. All right. Thoughts on Kamara round 2, Smitty? I say, so Tony and I had this conversation. Tony, are you still here? Fantasy Dog dropping the super. Rest of season YouTube membership. Oh, look at this. Fantasy Dog. AKA Juju Smith Oliver. See ya. See Denny. Fantasy Dog. Mashed potatoes, Fantasy Dog. Appreciate you dropping the $10 holler, and in tribute to our earlier Denny call where he said Juju Smith Oliver. For those that didn't see that, you got to watch the end of today's show. The last 30 minutes were unbelievable. Denny called in, sounded like he might have been hammered or tipsy, and he just went off, and it was pretty good content. Let's see here. Oh, Tony, you still here? So Tony and I had a conversation when he was on my show, and we talked about how Alvin Kamara pushing his hearing forward 60 days probably on its face appears to be a good sign for Kamara playing all of 2022 without any kind of suspension, right? But then a follow-up question I had to Tony, I felt like opened the door to a little bit more imaginary, process or scenario that I think could play out. And that was that all that has to happen is the hearing or the trial has to start before the season ends. Because I think, and Tony had mentioned that he did think this could be the case too. Yeah, if the trial begins, let's say the hearings push back even again, whatever, as long as that trial doesn't start, then he's probably in the clear as the NFL tries to wait for the process to play out. But if a trial begins before the season, let's say week 10, it's hard to imagine the NFL, and even Tony admitted this, it's hard to imagine the NFL letting Kamara go into court, which is going to look awful, come back onto the field, go into court, bad press, bad light for such an awful, descriptive, nasty assault on an individual, beating him into the ground, unconscious, kicking him while he was unconscious. So my thinking is that the worst part about this news that the hearing's been pushed back is that everyone's going to now draft him, and you're seeing it already, right? You're seeing Kamara go now at the top of 2, Tony. We're seeing Kamara get drafted at the top of round 2. Before, when we expected maybe 4 to 6 games, we were drafting him at the end of 3, sometimes top of 4. So now people are drafting him at the top of 2, and if a trial begins in week 10, and the NFL, and Tony just said right here, Tony said concur. if the trial starts, the NFL won't have any choice. So if the trial starts and nobody's expecting it, everybody's now drafting him at the top of 2, he's going to be taken off your team in week 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever the case may be, because he'll be put on paid leave, which will pay him, and he'll be on the commissioner exempt list. They'll pay him because he's not guilty yet, and they won't have any like cause, you could say, or whatever the right wording is to use in this situation. They won't have justification to not pay him, because that would be punishing him without any evidence being fully played out in court. And so why on earth would you draft Kamara at the top of 2 when he could be raptured from your team and you didn't have the value baked in, the risk baked in? So if anything, Kamara is a bigger risk now than he ever was the entire offseason, because you were getting Kamara in baked in value in round 4 or end of 3. Now you're assuming he's playing, taking him at the top of 2. He might be raptured off your team and you didn't have the risk baked in, and now you're screwed. You know? I have been avoiding Kamara unless he's available in the 3rd and only in best balls. You're basically getting a rental. I have to watch the Tony show. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a real good show. Tony is very insightful. And I'm trying not to speak for him right now. So I'm saying I think Tony, I'm not trying to. Let's see here. Can you guys still hear me? My AirPod felt like it went out. I don't know if you can still hear me, if the volume changed. But we're going on. How long has the show been going? An hour and 10 minutes. I'm still going to go for a little bit here. I'll still go for a little bit. I like to go run right now. I'm tired. I'm not feeling like running. What do we got here? 78 of you in here, 57 thumbs up. Can we get some more thumbs up, please? Can we get that to match? I'd appreciate it. What did you think about the discipline for the Dolphins? No evidence was found, or it was concluded that the team didn't, it wasn't taken seriously, the request to lose games. But, did they tamper with Tom Brady? Yeah. From what I hear from people very, very close to the situation, or close to people that were close to the situation, I might reframe that. Tom Brady and Sean Payton, it was all but done. They were heading to Miami before Miami. Mike ended up landing there, obviously, eventually. Tom Brady and Sean Payton, it was done. The tampering, total truth behind that. The Dolphins should be ashamed of themselves. They always, it's crazy, the history of everything that's been going on there. Getting your first rounder ripped from you, that's got to be like sitting down at a chessboard and somebody saying, okay, oh, sorry, pardon me, before you start this game, I'm going to take both your rooks off the table. There you go. Okay, you may begin. And then you got to play this chess. Miami Mike's probably pissed as hell. But it's kind of his fault, because he knew he was walking into a blender of absolute, risk. Smitty is PTA approved. Thank you, Tanner. Texans will get disciplined for 30 cases they settled. I don't know. It's a good question whether the league takes action based on the settlement. That's one question for Tony. I don't know. I don't think so, because they didn't say that anything happened. They settled. Settlement can be considered an admission of guilt in some way, but in the civil court, and Tony might be able to confirm this, in civil court, as Tony said before on my show, I'm pretty sure you sign something that says that the person that's handing out the check didn't do anything wrong at all. Okay. And not to mention, when the Texans announced their settlement, in the statement, they said this is not an admission of guilt. We did no wrongdoing. We're merely paying out because we feel it's the right thing to do in this situation. And they want to make sure the victims have been paid and taken care of. So to my knowledge, the Texans admitted no wrongdoing. To my knowledge, the Texans probably had signed agreements that said that they did nothing wrong. In civil, I don't think a settlement's treated the same as in criminal. If there's a or not that there's a settlement in criminal, but there's a settlement in Tony would have to clarify this, but I think in the civils on the civil side, a settlement with that statement of no wrongdoing, that the NFL can't really suspend anybody. You know, so I don't think there'll be any punishment for the Texans based on what I know. But yet again, maybe another investigation gets done. If something else arises and there's like evidence that comes out that the Texans hid something, or maybe that investigation hasn't even happened yet where the actual, someone looks into it criminally, or if there's some other potential lawsuit, or, something's looked into differently than those victims that signed that settlement. It's not a class action. So that means that every single one of the new individuals that could come to the Texans would actually get a different settlement, to my knowledge. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that because it's not a class action at all, it's not like another victim can't come forward and say, Houston Texans, I'm coming after you. They most certainly could, I think, to my understanding. Every release includes a clause that denies liability in the legal sense. That is a definitive statement of position. But in the court of public opinion, we can believe that they did. Okay, there we go. And I believe Tony can confirm. Oh, what do you think about the discipline? Oh, to the Dolphins. That was Tony asking that question. I didn't realize that was Tony asking me that question. But Tony, I don't know if you can correct me or confirm that any new person coming toward the Texans for guilt would absolutely be getting a different deal and has nothing to do with the settlements that have happened, because it's not a class action. I believe that's correct, right? Last pick, Hail Mary. Who's your guy? Zamir White. Do it live. Shoddy in the house. Thank you, Shoddy, for the super chat. Thank you, Shoddy, for being here. Thank you, Tony Turley. I love having Tony Turley in the building. Tony Turley is the man. Okay, Tony confirmed. Any new cases that come forward against the Texans will be treated as a whole separate deal. And like I talked about with Tony, I think that if a new case or claim comes forward, and Tony, we talked about this on the show, even if the Texans were alerted about it, even if the league was alerted about it, even if Watson said, you see that lady down there, her name is Fran, okay? Fran did the same thing. We had a little session or whatever. Just want to let you know about it, okay? She hasn't filed a lawsuit. They haven't talked to Fran at all. They didn't reach out, I'm sure, Tony, right, to any person that didn't come forward, But Watson did make it clear. Fran came over on August 27th, and I have my little towel. Okay, even if that was the case and they knew about it, the problem is if Fran does come forward with the claim, and Tony, I don't know how you feel about this, because we talked about it kind of, and we I think we went back and forth a little bit on it, not between you and I, but just that there were two possibilities, right? But I'm just thinking, I don't see how the NFL doesn't say, well, Fran is different than every single person here. It's a completely different situation. If we gave all of these individuals that got settlements over here the benefit of the doubt in interviewing them, getting their side of the story, we can't just take their story and go over to Fran and be like, hey, Fran, we heard this happened and we're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to look into it. We're not going to interview you. We're not going to hand out new discipline. It's completely different. Fran is a different situation. Fran is different evidence. Fran could have been a much worse case. Maybe something bad happened in Fran's case. That's the thing that I think the NFL is going to think about. If Fran comes forward with a claim, even if the claim seems very similar, there's no way the NFL, in my opinion, can just say, we already handed out discipline and he alerted us to it, so we're not going to give him further discipline. They're going to have to go talk to her, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, Tony. They're going to have to go talk to her. They're going to have to go find out if the side of the story is different than the other ones. And because it's an additional item, maybe Tony, like you were saying earlier, if he says this thing happened with Fran, this is how it went, same thing, maybe they preemptively put that in the idea process behind X number of games, but I highly doubt it. I think that Fran, if she comes forward It's a whole new interview, whole new evidence, whole new discipline. Look at discipline. Very, very bad situation. I don't think it's over. And you know what? I said that on the show with Tony. I said I don't think it's over. And then literally less than 24 hours later, the NFL appealed. So here we are. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's even close to over. I don't think he plays in 2022. And I still wouldn't be shocked if he never played again. I'm not saying I'm taking that stance right now, but I'm certainly taking the stance that I believe Roger Goodell is going to piss off a lot less people if he gives a whole year. And yeah, he's going to circumvent the Sue Robinson process that he put in place, and he's not taking her advice, which looks really bad. Hey, let me set up a middle person situation, and then I'm not going to go with it. That's really, really bad. It's a bad look. Fran drafter Watson in fantasy, even though he says she's no, I'm not reading that, Tanner. Can't read that, Tanner. I think they will refuse him and try and play ever again. Yeah, I think they're gonna, bro. I mean, the NFL doesn't want to be known as the league that allows this stuff to happen, And as much as Roger Goodell and Tony put it beautifully, he doesn't have a heavy hand all the time. He has a heavy hand sometimes, and then his hand's completely light other times. Heavy hand with Calvin Ridley, non-heavy hand with Kamara right now. And you might be able to say they got to let the legal system play out and all that, but we clearly know they can put them on the exempt list paid anytime they feel like it's an issue. Like unpaid, they probably can't, but putting them on paid leave to work out problems, they technically can, I think, go after that. And they probably should do that with Kamara. Kamara shouldn't have did what he did. Kamara shouldn't get away with extending his career and pushing this all back because he's got a short shelf life as a running back. And Kamara's going to go out there and get to play and play out his younger years and just keep pushing this forward and pushing this. What Kamara did was wrong. What Watson did was wrong. And people that come in and say he's innocent till proven guilty, like, give me a break, bro. Do I think he's innocent till proven guilty to an extent? Absolutely. Do we live in a world where you should be able to go to jail or not have your ability to defend yourself before? Yes. But there's also situations where people sit in jail in their trial, And so it's not that crazy to think about, hey, maybe Watson shouldn't be on the field while this all plays out. And I just think that there's too much evidence that he's admitted to that may not constitute, the guilt part in a court of law, but it constitutes a violation of the league's personal conduct policy to an extreme degree that maybe he shouldn't be on the field. That's what I'm saying. Really must not be playing with the full deck. Ridley, the whole year for Ridley, I'm not against Ridley being suspended a year. I'm against what Tony described as a light hand one moment by Goodell and a heavy hand the next moment. That's what I don't like. I feel like there's no consistency. I feel like Roger Goodell, as Tony put it, is tough one moment and then not the other. And I'm sorry if I'm wording any of that wrong, Tony. You can correct me if I'm misquoting you. Still leaning toward the NFL and Watson settling. They could settle for sure, but that's not Watson. It would be the NFLPA. Well, essentially Watson, right? But the NFLPA and the league could come to terms on 12 games. But if you think they're walking out of a room when Roger Goodell now has the gavel back in his hand and the league's asking for a full year with a reapply after one full year, guess what? They're not. They're the NFL, the league, and Goodell. The ball is in their court. They have all the leverage, all the power. They're going to sit down with Watson and they're going to say, Watson, 12 games. Don't like it? We'll give you a year. Take it to court. We've got a good history in court. We're going to win. And the NFL will probably win in federal court because everything is on their side. Even Sue Robinson's write-up and interpretation of the situation is in favor of the NFL. Even though her 6-game suspension wasn't, her write-up was awfully bad. And Tony, I don't know if you know this about it, but here's Ron Navy says, did they say that they're looking to get him help too. I think there's a recommendation in there maybe from Sue Robinson, I believe. I'm not positive on that. I think there was some sort of determination on he can't have a massage from anybody but a team appointed person. And then there might have been something in there. I'm not positive, but I don't know, Tony. I don't know if you know this, but this contract of Deshaun Watson is very Deshaun Watson friendly. It is a $66 million contract per year times X number of years to equal $230 million. It's exactly 66, I believe, or 65, 66, I believe, $66 million every single year. Year one, 66, year two, 66, year three, 66, all the way down. But year one is divided up differently than the other years. Year one is $1 million salary and $65 million signing bonus. That means that Deshaun Watson gets paid $1 million for year one of his contract. If he doesn't play 2022, his year one begins in 2023, which means he won't get his next $66 million salary. He'll actually get that $1 million, which just delays everything. But that is going to be a big pressing point for Watson and the Watson camp, is that you literally suspend him for the year. You're delaying his payment of $66 million for one calendar year. So that's a huge, huge thing to Watson, right? So that's a big deal and a reason why you most certainly are going to see the NFLPA take this thing to federal court if Roger Goodell does grab the gavel by the balls and say 1 full year, or he has his appointed attorney general, retired attorney general from New Jersey, to do that. So if what's his name, Peter Harvey or whatever his name is, if he comes out for Goodell, because Goodell is pulling the strings, and they say full year reinstatement after 1 year, then this is going to federal court. 66 million, damn. Why didn't I become a QB? Not everybody gets paid that, bro. You got to be a Browns player and be a mess. Do you qualify? MT has a super high upside if back. Maybe, bro. I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that. I suppose, I guess, but like everybody keeps saying to me today in the live stream, Smitty, if Christian McCaffrey's healthy, he could be the best running back in football. Well, yeah, no crap, Sherlock. Like that's the problem. Oh, hey, Smitty, if Mike Thomas is healthy, he's going to be great. Like, of course, makes a lot of sense. But what if he's not healthy and we have 2 years of proof that he can't stay healthy? Not to mention, I don't know if you know the extent to his injury, but when you have that deltoid injury that he had, your leg, the two bones that go into your ankle. So right here, let me flip this around. Right here, you have two bones, okay? Two bones right in here. You can, when you see a skeleton, you'll see like a space between the two bones. Right here, the two bones come down to a point, and you essentially have your deltoid ligament that holds those two bones together in a sense. And so when you step and you have that injury to that deltoid, and a lot of guys with a very high ankle sprain have that, when you step down, it feels like your two bones want to separate right at the bottom here. So he injured that deltoid. So every time Mike Thomas would step down like this, he would step down and his two bones would feel like they were going to separate every time he stepped down. So your body adjusts and adapts differently to that, even when you have surgery and you have to step different. So his explosion, Mike Thomas, slant boy, is all about cutting. You injure that deltoid and you have issues with explosion and cutting. That's what Mike Thomas's bread and butter is. The cutting, the explosion, the slant boy. I don't know, bro. I don't see how he gets back to better than he was with that deltoid issue. With that, CMC is healthy. Maybe. We don't know that. Michael Thomas is 56 years old. Swift or Devonte in the second round. It's so weird. It's so weird. You ask me in the first round, I say Swift because I think you can get Devonte in the second round. So I want to gamble for both. But if you tell me you're already in round two, and I could only have one, I want to lean Devonte. It's weird, but I want to lean Devonte, bro. Look it up, bro. Look it up, Brian. Deltoid in your ankle, bro. What up, Moldy? What's up, Fantasy Dog? Appreciate you. 84 of you in here. 88 of you in here. Only 68 likes. Punch that thumb up button. Let's go. Let's go. Look it up. Deltoid in your ankle, Brian. Then come back, okay? Look it up, bro. Smitty, I thought the exact same thing. Oh, about JT or Javonte in round two. Yeah, it's weird. Swift or Javonte is so difficult to decide between. The only reason I'm going Swift in round one is because I can try and get both of them. You know, that ultimately I want Swift. Got to get up early, says James Conklin, and drive to the Chiefs camp. Attaboy. Great job, Smitty. Love the content. Thank you, Gage. Appreciate you. Niles, Andrews, or Pitts. Give me. I mean, you're talking about cost of entry. Give me Pitts at the end of round four, top of 5 versus Andrews at the top of 3. You know. Oops, I forgot to wipe my feet. Ron, that's okay. Hit that thumb up button on your way in the door, people. Or if you've been sitting here. Moldy Cheeto says, you think Kamara gets suspended this year? We went over that for like 20, 30 minutes, bro, already. But in a nutshell, I think you're playing with fire now that you're drafting him. And tell me you are, because you are. You're drafting Kamara in the freaking top of round 2. And if this trial even kickstarts at all, even though it's delayed, the hearing, everything, if it starts if the trial even begins in like week 10 or week 11, the NFL is going to shut down Kamara on paid leave. And then you're going to be out Kamara, and you didn't even get the price and the risk because you thought he's going to play all year. Like you were better off drafting him in the 4th round, expecting 4 to 6 games, because then he was baked in risk. You know what I'm saying? My bad, G. Late to the party. No problem, Moldy. Let's see here. What's up? Do you think Drake London will be better than Chris Olave? 99 of you in here. We're 100 people in the building now. Hit the thumb up button. Your boy Smitty appreciates it. Do I think Olave or Drake London? I'm probably going to say give me Drake London, I suppose. But I like Olave a lot. I like them both, but I don't think either one becomes like a first-round fantasy football wide receiver. I think we're looking at 2 players that have the potential to be like a late second, top of the 3rd overall type of wide receiver in fantasy football, potentially. Maybe not both of them, but maybe one of them. I think that's what we're talking about. I don't think we're talking about anything greater than that, bro. I don't think you can get anything more out of Drake London and Olave. I don't think we're looking at a Jamar Chase. I don't think we're looking at, any kind of JJ or really even a Deebo Samuel type of player. I don't think we're getting that high. You know what I'm saying? What else we got here? Drake London says, Brian, what do I think of Trey Lance not throwing a tight spiral? It wobbles. What do you think about Kurt Warner throwing a nice wobble pass, a little duck pass? How do you think about Peyton Manning? Some of the best quarterbacks in NFL history throw a wobble ball. You know, sometimes that's a by design, a way a player controls the velocity and the drop of the football and the speed and the trajectory of everything is that wobble that's naturally built into their throwing motion. It kind of feeds the ball in a certain direction, lets it drop in the breadbasket, bro. Sometimes wobble is good. Don't let people that don't know what they're talking about rip on a tight spiral and talk about it as if it's a problem. It's something he needs to work on, because it's not. Because he's going to throw a nice ball, and he already throws a nice ball. And nobody talked about a wobble or any kind of problem at the combine. It's all people bringing up a bunch of BS because they're hating on Trey. You know what I'm saying? Wobble ball, it's crazy. Steve Young had a little wobble. Kurt Warner had one of the best looking footballs in the history of the NFL. Kurt Warner is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play football. And Kurt Warner threw a wobble pass like no other. I loved his wobble throw. It was a beautiful wobble. Beautiful wobble. London is the best wide receiver in this class. Maybe Jameson Williams long term, bro. Thoughts on Zamir White? We talked about that earlier, Ron. We love him, bro. We love him. Zamir looked good. People are coming out of that game saying Jacobs looked great. Jacobs looked as good as Zamir White. Zamir looked as good as Jacobs. Abdullah looked as good as both of them. It was playing against a patchwork second and third string injured, bad playing Jacksonville Jaguar D too. Everybody looked like they were fabulous. You know what I'm saying? I'm completely fading my 2022 picks and 2023 picks. I don't mind that. But if you don't have the 1.1, Breece Hall beats any one of your 2023 picks if you don't have the 1.1. So, not saying it will backfire, but it could backfire. I've never thrown a wobble, just saying. It's just fantasy dog. What's up, Pierce? Just got out of work over here in Michigan. What are we talking about? Everything under the sun, bro. All right, guys, I am going to jump out of here. I appreciate everybody. We've been live for about an hour and a half. So I'm going to bail. I appreciate everybody. You guys all rock. I work for you. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll go live. Maybe we'll do a midday live and a night live. I don't know. I've got the round 2 best picks in round 2 video coming. I know that I'm a little delayed on that. And then I'll do round 3 right after that. We'll be good to go. I've got all of it filmed. I'm just editing it. And then all the emergency live streams have really backed me up this week. But we're back on track. Appreciate everybody. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Nola. Thank you, Pierce. Appreciate you all. If you missed most of the show, rewatch it. It was good stuff, good content. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out. Enjoy your night. Later. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, Navy. Thank you, all of you, for super chatting. Thank you for being here. Later, people.